Hello, my name is Matty Steel. I'm the Associate Pastor from Stockton Baptist Church, and I'm coming to you this morning from our home on a street in central Stockton-on-Tees. We live in a 6-bedroom, big old Victorian townhouse, so it's lovely and cool in the summer, absolutely freezing in the winter, and at the moment we have 4 believers living in this house together. There's me and my wife Jess, and then there's 2 others as well. We actually have space for 2 more, so if you're interested in town centre mission, give me a shout please. Now, as grand and as nice as it sounds to live in a 6-bedroom house in the centre of town, let me explain a little bit about why we're here and where we are. The house that we're living in used to be a 9-bedroomed bedsit, and in fact out on this street most of the houses are converted into 7, 8, 9-bedroom bedsits or larger hostels. And for a number of years now this street has had quite a reputation that there are high levels of crime, high levels of drug and alcohol addiction. There's lots and lots of challenges on this street. One of our friends who works for a local charity in the centre of town, she was speaking with someone and they said that they at one point had actually chosen to be homeless rather than be placed in one of the bedsits, one of the hostels on this street. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of where we are. And you know, in the eyes of the world, and we hear it from time to time when we speak with different people about, you know, what we're doing and where we're living, this street is a total write-off, a desperate and hopeless place. But we know as believers fine well, without a doubt, that Jesus has other thoughts about this place, that Jesus has other thoughts and feelings for the people of this place. We know that Jesus' heart for every soul on this street is absolutely full of love. We know that Jesus is powerful and able to set people free from any addiction. We know that Jesus is the God of all hope. We know that Jesus has plans and purposes for every person on this street. We know that Jesus doesn't look at this street or the people of this street and see them as a problem, but rather as a solution to some of the problems that we have in society. And we know that Jesus has commissioned his church, us as believers, to go and minister that love, that freedom, that life to the people of this street and to other streets and estates like it across the northeast. We passionately believe that believers moving into places like this is crucial for the mission, because we believe that we see a proximity and a closeness as being crucial to the mission in the New Testament. One of the key verses that we often come back to is in 1 Thessalonians 1, and it's where Paul and Silas and Timothy, writing to the Thessalonian church, kind of reflect back on their experience there, and they said that because we loved you so much, we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well. You know, Paul and Silas and Timothy didn't just drop into Thessalonica and then preach the gospel then disappear again. No, they lived with a closeness and a proximity to the people that they were trying to reach, and so that's the model that we're trying to follow here as a group of believers living on this street. And you know, indeed, like we see that's the model of Jesus, isn't it? He didn't just write the gospel up with lights in the sky from heaven. No, he came from heaven to earth and lived among us. So for us, we moved into this house onto this street in January, and it hasn't exactly been the first 7 or 8 months that we'd expected or that we'd hoped for, that we'd prayed for. But we spent the first 2 to 3 months trying to establish a rhythm of life as a group of believers. So I think at that point there were 5 of us. One of the guys has moved up to Sunderland now. But initially, those first 2 to 3 months, we were looking to establish a rhythm of prayer, of worship, of eating together. And then just as we kind of felt settled as a house, as a community with that, and we were ready to get out onto the street, lockdown hit. And man, that was so frustrating at first. But Jesus being so good, he doesn't waste anything, does he? And Jesus has really been teaching us as a house, as a community of believers, about the importance of prayer for ourselves as a community of believers, but also the importance of prayer for mission. And so one of the key verses that we've kept on coming back to a lot recently is John 15:5, abide in me and you will bear much fruit. And so Jesus has been teaching us what it means for us as a community of believers to abide in him, to establish rhythms of prayer, of fasting, of taking communion, of worship, of eating together.